The courtroom burst like an earthquake as soon as the clerk read out the verdict. The Las Vegas court was filled to capacity. Although cameras were not permitted within, journalists who were hanging outside the hallway overheard the muted gasp that ran through the audience. The judge called out, "Meri Brown and Janelle Brown are hereby granted judgment." Robyn's immaculately groomed hands, which had been holding onto her attorney's arm for dear life, relaxed. Her face went pale. She darted her eyes from the judge to Cody, her eyelids snapping wildly, silently pleading with him to inform her this was not happening. Cody, however, stood unmoving, eyes glazed, mouth agape, as though just informed that his world was slipping into mud. The decision was merciless. The Flagstaff mansion, worth between $1.2 and $2 million, and other Cody-transferred properties to Robyn were declared by the court to be fraudulent conveyances, efforts to conceal assets from Meri and Janelle when they asserted their portion. Hey everyone, welcome back to Reality Recap. Don't forget to like this video. The judge ordered the home to be seized and liquidated, with the proceeds going directly to Meri and Janelle. As the weight of reality sank in, the courtroom echoed with Robyn's ragged breaths. She had lost her home, her financial lifeline was severed, and if the rumors from Meri's lawyer were true, her reputation would soon be in ruins. 2 weeks later, Flagstaff residents saw a surprise sight. A moving van idling outside Robyn's mansion. Hair tied back in a sloppy bun, hair-covered hoodie oversized and pulling down over her hips, leggings, Robyn stood on the driveway, tears running as she instructed the movers. Crudely stacked boxes wore worn tags such as kitchen, kids' rooms, and most revealingly, legal papers, a do not lose. Neighbors across the street whispered among themselves. One grumbled, "She always thought she was better than everybody." Behind the truck, Cody plodded along, periodically kicking at gravel and grumbling to himself. Sweat had mashed his golden ringlets flat, his face white and pinched. The man who once thundered as a lion guarding his pride now seemed to be hopelessly defeated for the first time in years. When the eviction officer finally arrived, his manner was professional but unfriendly. "You have until 4 p.m. to leave the premises." Robyn's jaw set. Her voice shook as she screamed, "This is not fair!" But the officer did not budge. "The court order is active, ma'am." While that was happening, Meri sat 300 meters away in her freshly remodeled house, drinking coffee and scrolling over headlines. The headlines were too good. Brown family shocker, Robyn loses mansion in court ruling, sister wives star faces, eviction after legal defeat. A text from Janelle hummed her phone. "Did you see this?" Janelle sounded close to euphoric. Meri smiled smugly and reclined, responding, "Oh, yeah, I saw it." For years, Meri had been humiliated and sidelined in her own marriage while Robyn basked in Cody's affection and wealth. Now, after a decade, the tables had turned. Meri noted, "I thought she could drown us in her fake tears. Well, now she's the one crying." Cody's breakdown. The eviction broke something within Cody. At strange times, friends would see him cruising Flagstaff aimlessly, sometimes sitting in front of restaurants but never going inside. He explained to producers that he needed to heal and quit working on TLC completely. Crew members guessed he was just too embarrassed to be around cameras. His temper blazed up when a tabloid journalist asked him about the court case. "You actually think Meri and Janelle won? They lost. The entire family lost. It's a crooked system." But Cody was aware inwardly that he'd been outwitted. The forensic accountant that Meri and Janelle had commissioned exposed Robyn's role in property transfers and money shell games supported by ironclad documentation. His defense crumpled under the burden of unassailable proof. The final sighting of Robyn was 2 months after the eviction at a small rental home on the outskirts of Flagstaff. Gone were the walk-in closet, sweeping staircase, and groomed gardens. Now, amidst children fighting over homework assignments, she folded clothes in a small living room. Bitter and agitated, Cody had begun sleeping in his own room. The man who had promised Robyn security was now struggling to pay next month's rent. At the same time, Meri and Janelle covertly completed the transfer of their assets into their private trusts. They were not only surviving, but thriving. Janelle grew her business, and Meri reserved vacations months in advance, both knowing that the money was not the victory. The biggest victory was watching Robyn survive the extremely public humiliation she never imagined. The play had commenced. 3 weeks post-eviction, Robyn slumped in the dark kitchen of her apartment, laptop before her. Coffee mugs littered the countertop like miniature ceramic troopers. Her eyes were puffy from a few hours of crying and watching the screen. On the table was a yellow legal pad with panicked scribbles. A suit for defamation. Reveal Meri's secrets. Find dirt on Janelle. Utilize the TLC contract. Cody came in, still clad in the same hoodie he'd worn for days, his hair equally disheveled. "What's all this, Robyn?" he muttered, his voice cutting. She answered, "This is how we fight back. We're not going to let Meri and Janelle dance on our graves. I'll see to it that the public sees who they truly are." But Cody just massaged his temples and groaned. "They need us to look desperate and stupid. That's what they need." Disregarding Cody's cautions regarding the press, Robyn contacted a moderate gossip blogger she'd met on TLC press junkets. For some interviews, the blogger offered an exclusive sympathetic piece. 2 days hence, the headline was, "Robyn Brown speaks out, once family, now betrayed by sister wives." The article alleged Robyn blamed Meri and Janelle for plotting over the years to ruin her marriage and reputation, portraying herself as the victim of lifelong jealousy. She threatened dark secrets about both women, but kept mum, wanting to trigger public suspicion. For approximately 48 hours, the strategy worked. Social media was filled with arguments. A few die-hard fans defended Robyn, but then Meri responded. Meri had been quiet since the eviction. Decked out perfectly with hair immaculately styled and blazer oozing confidence, she streamed live on Instagram. "Does Robyn have anything to say about betrayal?" She started calmly. "Fine. Let's discuss." During the next half hour, Meri took apart Robyn's story, showing actual evidence of Robyn's role in the property exchanges, such as text messages in which Robyn implored Cody to move fast before they were caught. Meri finished, "I didn't destroy Robyn's life. She destroyed hers when greed outweighed family." The live show rapidly became a hit. Hashtags such as #Tulam by Robyn and #MeriWins swept social media within hours. The next morning, Robyn awoke to find her phone blowing up with nasty DMs and mean memes rather than sympathy. Robyn, who lost the home she stole, was a viral TikTok, and even included some clips of her fake crying on a previous Sister Wives show. Sponsors who had previously sent her free things dropped her quietly. Meri and Janelle's posts always received more engagement on TLC's social media sites than hers. Enraged, Cody shouted, "I told you not to disturb the bear! Now you've got us acting like we're liars and them like saints!" The final shame was when Robyn appeared unannounced at a public charity gala featuring Meri and Janelle. Photographers were in attendance everywhere. Microphones picked up Meri snickering as she arrived and said, "Look! The eviction tour continues." The audience laughed. Robyn stood still, the words stinging her like a slap. Before the speeches, she ran back to her rental, at last facing the truth she'd been running from. Meri and Janelle were not harmed by her revenge plot. It was her own standing that was irrevocably tarnished. The quiet reckoning came in the form of an email on a Tuesday morning. The title, "Contract Review Urgent." Robyn and Cody were called into a confidential meeting at TLC's Flagstaff production office. The conference room felt heavy as a network executive named Dana, slick, direct, and unimpressed by Cody's usual charm, slid a document across the table. She said, "We've reviewed the show's direction. Over the past year, viewer sentiment has shifted dramatically. Robyn, you've become the most disliked cast member on Sister Wives." Robyn's expression faltered. Her voice cracked as she shouted, "That's not fair. Meri and Janelle are spreading lies." Dana cut her off. "Numbers don't lie, no matter the reasons. When you're featured heavily, ratings drop. When you're absent, they rise. Advertisers notice this." The verdict was harsh. TLC was considering removing Robyn from the show entirely, either fading her out mid-season or giving her a brief farewell arc. Back in the car, Robyn broke down in tears. "They want to get rid of me," she sobbed. Cody's knuckles whitened as he gripped the steering wheel. "If they cut you, I'm done too," he shouted. But inside, the harsh truth gnawed at him. Their last stable income would be gone if the show didn't go on. That evening, in desperation, Cody phoned Dana. "You hurt me and you hurt Robyn. We need a deal." Dana's response was biting. "Then maybe we'll just cut the whole package." A week afterward, Cody was privately offered a deal by TLC's lawyers. If he would film with the other cast members minus Robyn and re-establish on-camera rapport with Meri, Janelle, and Christine, they would retain him on the show. What they referred to as a redemption arc for Cody was actually a deception masquerading as a second chance. Robyn's face paled as he handed her the document. "So they're asking you to decide between me and the show," she whispered. Cody hesitated before responding, the silence eloquent. It was through a producer's friend that Meri heard of TLC's scheme. She didn't broadcast it publicly, but shared a cryptic Instagram photo of herself on the porch of her inn with the caption, "Some things just work themselves out." Gossip went wild in the comments. Robyn couldn't help but hear rumors as thousands tagged her. Drama in the rental reached a boiling point 2 nights shy of Cody's contract expiration. Tears running down, Robyn paced the living room. "Cody, are you saying I was just a prop for your career if you signed that offer?" She wept. He retorted, "And we'll be penniless in 6 months if I don't." The debate turned, and Cody ran into the guest bedroom and slammed the door. For the first time since her wedding day, Robyn felt like she might lose him. Not to another wife, but to the cameras that had made her feel bulletproof once upon a time. On decision day, Cody sat at the kitchen table, contract in front of him, sunlight just beginning to creep in. The rental appeared to hold its breath. Across from him, Robyn's eyes were puffy from lack of sleep, her hair wet from a shower. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. "I do," Cody answered in a flat tone. He reached for the pen and signed. A suppressed gasp was pushed out of Robyn. The only sound was the scratch of the ink. "You used me for a paycheck," she charged. Cody didn't look up. "I sold us both out to avoid eating ramen for a year." TLC's announcement came fast. Within 48 hours, entertainment sites everywhere ran the headline, "Kody Brown to reconnect with former wives as TLC renews Sister Wives for exciting new season." The deliberate use of former wives was a clear message. Robyn was no longer part of that circle. Footage of Robyn's recent serious interviews was contrasted with images of Cody stiffly smiling beside Meri and Janelle from previous seasons. A stark contrast. Meri and Janelle's victory moment came with TLC's first promotional photo shoot at Meri's Inn. Cameras captured them giggling together with coffee, leafing through picture albums on the porch. When queried about filming with Cody again, Meri beamed. "It's nice to work with people who appreciate family." Janelle added, "Focusing on the real history, not distractions, is like a silk-wrapped razor blade. It's a good thing." Everyone knew who the distraction was. Robyn fought back publicly with an Instagram video shot from her car, tearfully claiming, "They're rewriting the truth. They're trying to erase me from the family story. I'm Cody's wife. I was his wife." But the remarks came pouring with popcorn emojis, giggling faces, and recollections of her defeat in court instead of sympathy. Even her die-hard followers appeared to tire. When the season began anew, TLC made their editorial position clear as a bell. As cheerful music played, Cody arrived at Meri's Inn, hugging Janelle and Meri warmly. The scene progressed with Robyn sitting alone in her rental, staring out the window quietly. Ratings skyrocketed. Social media swarmed with hashtags Charatsan Team Meri and Charatsan Sao Team Janelle, and joke tweeting Phawan Porowen viral led. In her little rental house, Robyn realized something unimaginable. For all these years, she had thought of herself as Brown family queen, but now she was just a supporting actress in someone else's fairy tale. The premiere episode's opening scene moved from a snug living room to a hip downtown Flagstaff law office. Robyn sat across from Vanessa Cortez, a sharp, bold lawyer clearly skeptical of her client. After placing the TLC press release on the table, Robyn said, "They can't just cut me out. I've spent years on that show. I'm a part of its history," Robyn maintained. Vanessa steepled her fingers reflectively. Legally, sure, they can let you go. But leaning in, perhaps, just perhaps, we have a cause of action, if you can show your removal was intended to harm your reputation. Robyn's eyes gleamed. Janelle and Meri, they've been plotting all these years. The threat struck TLC headquarters like a bomb in a week. Robyn threatened to sue for emotional distress, wrongful eviction, and defamation, and the network got a thick envelope that was marked legal notice. She was also ready to unveil extensive behind-the-scenes files that revealed producer manipulation, staged scenes, and personal misconduct. The letter shook the executives. Some pushed for a quiet settlement, while others dismissed it as a bluff. Dana, the same executive who had iced Robyn out before, urged, "Call her bluff. If she proceeds, we'll respond with nuclear force." Cody exploded when he heard about the lawsuit. "My show is being sued, and TLC's the only thing keeping us afloat," he shouted, pacing the rental living room like a caged animal. Robyn's voice trembled. "Cody, they made me sound bad, and you allowed them to." Cody banged his fist on the counter. "You're gonna blow our last lifeline with your screaming accusations and threat of divorce. It was their worst fight yet." Neighbors later reported to reporters that they heard shouting and broken glass that night. Finding weakness, Meri and Janelle unleashed a full PR assault. In a joint interview with People magazine, they emphasized honesty and transparency on the show. "We've had enough drama without creating more," Meri said, clearly referencing Robyn's lawsuit. "We've made progress," Janelle added. "Some just can't accept it." Portrayed as resilient survivors, Meri and Janelle stood strong, while Robyn came off as bitter and ungrateful. TLC's lawyers, however, called Robyn's bluff by expediting her deposition. On the stand, she was compelled under oath to concede that much of her incriminating testimony against Meri and Janelle rested on suspicion rather than fact. Even worse, the network aired unseen producer texts indicating Robyn had requested staged scenes to portray her as sympathetic. Nearly smiling, the legal team departed the deposition. The backlash was quick and brutal. Leaks emerged, and tabloids blared headlines such as "Robyn Brown's TLC case collapses, found to exaggerate under oath." Her other supporters disappeared. Sponsors who quietly funded her disengaged, and some distant relatives ceased taking calls. Embarrassed and enraged, Cody began to steer clear of the property for nights on end. Speculation circulated on social media that he was sleeping in a guest room at Meri's Inn. For the season finale, TLC seized the chaos on camera. While Cody filmed in another city alongside Meri and Janelle, cameras caught Robyn alone at her kitchen table, piles of overdue bills in front of her. With tears streaming down her face, Robyn said, "I thought I'd be the last wife standing. Now, I'm not even part of the family story." It was in the bleak final shot of the season that Robyn sat on her phone in the dark rental as Meri, Janelle, and Cody walked into a restaurant together, all of them laughing. It was a far cry from the defiant, invulnerable woman she had once been. The season closed on the sound of her muffled sobs. Rock bottom arrived in the following season's first shot. Robyn, solo at 2 a.m. in the dark kitchen, munching cold cereal out of the box. Her sweater was spotted hair messy. Unopened bills stacked high behind her, some labeled "Final Notice." Her bank account was all but drained after the expensive legal fights. With Meri and Janelle's joint ventures holding most of the money, even Cody's on-camera earnings were not enough, and TLC eliminated all future pay, alleging contract violations. In a quiet confession, Robyn confessed, "I thought if I just stayed quiet and sweet that I would be okay. Now I see no one's rescuing me." Deciding she needed to make a change, Robyn introduced a new social media series named Second Chances with Robyn. She recorded herself thrifting, baking cookies with her children, and discussing humility and do-overs. A few fans respectfully defended her, but her comments were filled with criticism of crocodile tears and sympathy rebranding. Then she committed a fatal error, griping about the increasing cost of bread in one of her videos. while sporting a gold Cartier watch she hadn't taken off. For all the bad reasons, the video became viral. One rainy day, Robyn's phone rang from an unknown number. Nearly ready to ignore it, she answered to hear, "Robyn, it's Christine." This was the same lady who had been one of her toughest critics, labeling her manipulative on national television. But unexpectedly, Christine sounded nonchalant. "I think we can help each other," Christine said. "Come see me, no cameras." They arranged to meet at a tiny coffee house on the outskirts of town. Christine pushed a manila envelope down the table, brimming with ancient production calendars, unfilmed logs, and selections from Cody's conversations with TLC executives that never made the airwaves. "This might ruin Cody's golden boy reputation," Christine said. "And if we leak it tactfully, we both win." Robyn raised an eyebrow. "Why assist me?" Christine took a sip of her coffee and settled back. "Because I don't want him to win. And you're the only one desperate enough right now to stay with me until the end." They made their pact, but Robyn insisted that Meri and Janelle never know what they were doing. For the next month, the two had clandestine meetings, passing each other notes and searching through dusty records. Robyn was shocked by the mud Christine had collected. Evidence Cody had yelled at crew members, insulted his own children off camera, and even attempted to have family members terminated from deals in exchange for larger checks. One evening, scrolling through the documents, Robyn grumbled, "This is nuclear." "Right on," Christine said. "The big reveal." One morning, Entertainment Tonight aired an exclusive Kody Brown's off-camera tantrums exposed in Sister Wives leaked tapes. Footage emerged of Cody screaming at a producer demeaning one of his kids and taunting Meri, spreading global shock. Trending hashtags included Robyn Brown Family Truth and Cody Exposed. TLC rushed to put the damage control. Even as Meri and Janelle publicly denounced Cody, it was too late. The shock fallout. During the season finale, Cody accosted Robyn in the living room of the rental, voice shaking. "You did this." Robyn did not contradict it. "Cody, you left me with nothing. I told you, when someone's cornered, they fight back." Christine, waiting inside the house with cameras present for the grand expose, stepped out of the hallway. Robyn and Christine shared a look of understanding as the season closed on a shot of Cody's face. Equal measures of anger and realization. TLC's master plan. In Los Angeles, executives met, eyes shining like gamblers with a royal flush. Leaks in Season 3 had driven ratings through the roof, and the network craved more blood and cameras to record it. The strategy was straightforward but lethal. A hosted multi-day reunion known as the Brown Family Truth Summit, in which Cody, Robyn, Meri, Janelle, and Christine would spill everything. "We don't merely provide fans with closure," CEO Dana, who fired Robyn during Season 2, explained to the crew. "We give them an event they'll never forget." It was mandatory attendance, diplomatically phrased in invitations that threatened contract disputes and lost wages for non-attendees. Meri and Janelle caught wind of another victory lap and jumped at the chance. Christine deliberated for approximately 10 seconds before agreeing, having no doubt she could deliver Cody's fatal blow on television. Robyn shook with her hands as she read the letter 3 times. "It's a trap," she whispered. Cody growled. "We're finished if we don't go. At least this way, we get paid." The stage was set. The Truth Summit was held at an upscale Sedona resort. The main space looked like a cross between a boxing ring and a therapy circle, with comfortable chairs and warm lighting, but there were cameras everywhere, including overhead rigs that recorded every look. Host Lee Foster, an unyielding investigative journalist, opened the event. "We're here to either burn bridges or clear the air. The truth will come out one way or another." The first day was controlled but tense with cold smiles and polite jabs. Everyone knew it wouldn't stay that way long. Christine struck first on day 2. "Cody, what about when you informed producers Meri's business was a waste of camera time she asked matter-of-factly, dropping a bombshell. Cody blushed with shame. That's out of context. No, it's totally in context. Christine cut in. She pulled out her phone and hit play. Meri reclined, a cool smile on her face, as Cody's voice filled the room, insulting her business and calling it a dead end. Meri's time of restitution had come. Not to be outdone, Meri produced her own color-coded, neatly filofaxed folder. Here's evidence of all the money Cody sent to Robyn, she declared, while informing everybody else that there is nothing more to go around. Every digit she read was a gut punch. Robyn squirmed and shot a look at Cody, who looked as if he wished to evaporate into his chair. Host Lee leaned forward. Robyn, did you know the rest of the family wasn't made aware of these transfers? Robyn's voice hesitated. I didn't feel it was my right to question it. Christine's crisp sneer was picked up by the microphone. By the final day, all politeness had vanished. Janelle accused Cody of using loyalty as a weapon and pitting his wives against one another. He's a man who can't lead without destroying what he leads, she said. Desperate and cornered, Christine accused Robyn of trying to manipulate Meri, saying, You were cold to me from the beginning. Meri shot back, I was cold because you walked in with a knife and a grin. The fight became so intense, Lee had to stand and physically intervene as screaming ran amok. This was unadulterated TV gold, and producers feared cutting away. The season's last scene was pandemonium. Cody tore off his microphone and stormed out, bashing the lodge doors so hard the cameras rattled. Meri, Janelle, and Christine huddled close, on the verge of laughing, as Robyn ran after him in tears. The final shot was Robyn's tears behind the three women disappearing into the Sedona sunset. TLC teased what was next. Following the credits, the crunch of tires on the frozen driveway shattered the quiet winter morning at Robyn's rental. Anticipating a delivery truck, she looked through the blinds to watch a county sheriff's SUV arrive and two officers emerge. They were not there to discuss. Standing with a court order in their hand and the official seal shining in the cold light, Mrs. Robyn Brown, this property is hereby being repossessed, effective at once. You are to vacate today. Her mouth dropped open in shock. No, this can't be. I appealed. One officer shook his head. The judge rejected it yesterday. We're here to enforce the decision. Voices of children echoed down the hall. When Robyn realized cameras had been rolling and TLC had been following her for days, her hands started trembling. Sensing ratings gold, producers whispered urgently into their earpieces. Meanwhile, Meri and Janelle were in a warm, wood-paneled office across town, signing papers. The attorney slid the final papers across the polished table. It's official. The court gave you joint ownership of the Coyote Pass tracks and complete legal title to the media royalties of the family, which Cody rolled over into Robyn's LLC. Meri sat back with a pleased, sharp smile. It's good to have the truth acknowledged at last, after all these years of being denied. It was the first time in months she had laughed. Robyn has been running the family like her own business. Today is the last day of that. Reporters swarmed outside the courthouse. Meri didn't hesitate to declare, "We're done being silent," as she stared directly into the cameras. By the time Robyn packed her last bags into a rented pickup, the local news vans lined the street, neighbors craning to watch. Mid-chaos, Cody walked in, leathery jacket frayed, eyes flashing, hair whipping in the wind. "This is harassment!" he bellowed at the reporters. "You're vultures!" When someone asked him if he knew it was true, they had been found guilty of financial mismanagement by the court. He stiffened. Robyn's face set. "They're distorting everything. We just wanted to safeguard our family." She rubbed her eyes and groaned. "They've stolen everything from me." As they pulled away, Meri and Janelle were hammering out a co-memoir contract. The publisher wanted to know in great detail the Brown family's meltdown, bank statements, intimate texts, and insider gossip. "Are you prepared for Robyn and Cody to sue?" the editor asked during their initial meeting. Janelle smiled. "Let them attempt it. The truth is our defense." The women started collecting years' worth of evidence. suspicious PayPal contributions to Robyn's company, handwritten notes, and bank transfers. The more they investigated, the more incriminating the evidence. Robyn sat cross-legged on the floor of a small two-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of town, sorting through mismatched plates to unpack. The air was heavy with awkward silence. Cody walked back and forth beside the window. "They're waiting for us to make a mistake so they can destroy us." Robyn's voice broke. "They already did." He turned on her, angry. "Don't put this on me." That evening, their fight rattled the walls, causing noises to reverberate into the dark night. Producers were informed by neighbors that they could still hear Robyn crying long after the screaming had subsided. The live confrontation, for the first time since the fallout, Meri, Janelle, Cody, and Robyn were all in the same studio for a special live reunion TLC put together. The tension hung in the air the second the lights came on. Meri confronted Robyn. "You drove us away and took over by manipulating Cody. You robbed your own family. The court concurs." Robyn blanched. "I love this family. I was trying to save it." Janelle jumped in. "Save it? You sucked it dry." Online chat went wild. Hashtags such as #RobynExposed and #Team Meri, Janelle trended for hours. By the credits, it was obvious Robyn and Cody's reputations were in shambles. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates like this. Thanks, everyone.